Welcome back to another episode of Stu and the Crew. We're excited for this episode today. We got a special guest looking large and in charge. you know we're coming off the top rope.
The joke's already started.
Large and in charge.
That's right.
This what you on, JK?
Yeah, man. Co-hosted by your all-time Carolina Panthers leading rusher, former first-round draft pick, Jonathan Stewart. Glad you kept your shirt on today, Stu. We appreciate that.
I came in here, bells and whistles.
And our special guest, straight out of University of North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Sorry.
Hey.
Man.
That's very disrespectful.
Man. You know what?
That's a basketball
last
school.
night. I was in class last night. Sorry, forgive me.
Charlotte.
That's a basketball school.
Forgive me.
That's a basketball school.
I take it back.
Sorry, Julius
Because
Peppers.
I
That's
knew
a
where you
basketball
went.
School.
South Carolina.
There we go.
A Gamecock.
There we go.
Columbia.
All right. 10-year NFL vet. 2 stints with the Carolina Panthers. And you are the franchise record holder for pick sixes.
Ooh,
Captain Munnerlyn, ladies and gentlemen.
house.
Captain Munnerlyn. Thanks for joining us, Cap. I guess I'm the only one that wanted to clap for you. Sorry about that, big
That's
dog.
how Stu do me, man.
All right.
Little Cap. It's so good to have you here, brother.
It is, man. It's good to get you in
Look
the building,
at you, man. How you doing with this facial hair, man?
I don't have no hair at the top of my head no more, so it's just going to my beard. So
It
I'm
just
loving
happened,
it.
Huh?
Yeah,
Once you start losing your hair and once you just said, I'm done with it, you start growing a beard.
So,
yes,
so
you have to. When you ball, you have to. I feel like you have to, right?
Yeah.
it's a question, though. Would you rather have a full head of hair that just turns gray or white, or would you rather go bald? Which?
You want my? I'd rather have full grown. I'd rather have my hair.
Full head of hair? Okay.
The good thing is the size of your head, like.
That's what hats are for.
That's why I always got a hat on, Stu. That's why I always got a hat on.
Big old head melon boy.
We are glad to have you in the building, man. You're around quite often, man. We appreciate the support. You're always available. You're always willing to help, man. But I tell you what, it never comes without some entertainment. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I did a little, before we got you in today, I made a few phone calls.
Oh, man.
I made a few phone calls.
You got to get to know you.
Well, no, because I know Cap. I've gotten to know Cap. But I will say there's one thing about Captain Munnerlyn. Captain Munnerlyn is going to let you know about Captain Munnerlyn. If there's one thing, he believes, he loves him. What T.O. say?
I love
me some me. Captain's going to tell you about Captain Munnerlyn. I think I knew his entire career statistics the first week I met him. Now, we appreciate that because that's what made you great. So I made a phone call, fellow. Well, we weren't teammates, but he was one of my legends from back up north in Buffalo.
Oh man.
And I'm not gonna say who.
I'm nervous.
And I could have called a couple guys. Could have reached out to Carlos Thomas.
Oh,
could have called a couple.
man.
So I could have kept. I could have kept.
Man.
So,
I'm nervous.
Cap, I want you to validate this story for us.
I'm nervous.
South Carolina lunchroom, the Commons. I think you might have been a junior, and you might have had a little run-in with the track team.
Oh man.
Someone said, "Hey man, I could beat you in a race."
Oh.
He's nodding his head. Okay, so this is true. We're good so far.
True story.
Captain felt that he was going to challenge a track runner, an SEC track runner.
Right? Now, hold on. Cap, you run a 4.5 140.
Hold on now.
Stu.
Hold on now.
No.
Yeah, that's on electronic time. That ain't in the streets.
That's not, listen, Stu, that's not racing somebody neither. And I don't run a 4.5. I'm faster than 4.5. You know that.
Okay.
So the story continues. In the student commons, whole football team. Now, if you know anything about college football players move in packs. So I know you weren't alone, which means as soon as you said it, I know the team was hyping you up.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They put that 9-3 in me, Stu.
Right?
Yeah.
And so was it an athletic commons? Did you guys have separate commons, or were you with the general public?
We was
the
with
general pop, like it's prison.
We actually was with everybody.
Okay.
We was at the
and that would match up with the story. Okay, so Captain decides to challenge this track runner. And basically it comes down to, after a little bit of back and forth chirping, the entire calf pops up to go out to the street.
Oh, true story. That's a true story.
Team putting money down.
They
line it up.
They didn't have Instagram.
Stu, they line it up.
We line it up, Stu.
Lines up against an SEC sprinter in some Sperry's and polo shorts.
Ooh. I used to go to class clean, Stu.
Hold up.
Clean.
Hold up.
What?
And some
It still don't change.
And, well, I didn't picture it as clean.
Still
I
don't
pictured them
change.
as like some kind of beat up Sperry like boat shoes.
Nah, look.
Right?
No. He'll tell you one thing. No.
Ain't no capping with this.
Hey,
Cap.
no cap.
Little Cap was over there dressed to impress every day.
I believe it.
Every practice.
Like a professional.
Yeah.
Like
They used to talk about me.
beyond
It's like-
professional.
It's like, Cap, man, why you come to work like this? I was like, hey,
Smelling
man,
good.
I don't know.
Peyton used to come in every day, shirt tucked, briefcase in his right hand.
Yeah, Mooseman helmet was the same way.
Yeah,
he
Moose
was
was
dressed.
too.
He was
Moose
dressed
too.
like he was
So
going
I
to work.
respect that.
Yeah.
So back to the story. You lined it up in some Sperry's, which I don't know if you
color
understand.
were they?
If you are about to take on a sprinter and you got the confidence to do it in some Sperry's, I know you didn't have socks on. you really about that action. What happened, Cap?
Lined it up. I beat him, Stu, in front of everybody.
No.
In front of the whole Commerce.
Listen, it's a difference. Y'all
Yeah.
guys know it's a difference in track runners and football speed. And he ran my race.
Right.
We probably lined it up 30, 40 yards.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get up out of there.
I got up out of there on him. And he was talking like, man, I don't care about this. I'm telling you, I'm going to beat you. You know, put a little something down. Whole football team, track
How much
team.
you put down?
A little
That
something,
Pell
Stu.
Grant?
Little Pell Grant. How you know? How you know? You know too
Come on,
much, man. That Pell Grant, Stu. Like, I put it down. I was like, man, I was that confident. I was like, bro, you can't beat me. You can't beat me. We lined it up. I beat him bad, Stu. And the thing was, with the story is like, the guy knew that I probably was going to get out on him, but he thought he was going to catch me. But I'm sitting there like, yo, bro, I'm a football player. That's what we do.
Yeah, 30 yards.
Guess what? We ain't got no blocks.
Right.
We ain't got no blocks
Come
or
out the
nothing.
gate.
Man, I got out the gate on the Stu. I started looking at him and everything, embarrassing.
Oh.
So the fast forward, so we talking trash, you know, football players. We like, yeah, man, we knew y'all went that fast. All this SEC track stuff, we don't care about that. So they're supposed to be like his big guy, big homie. He pulled up to me, I bet you can't do me like that. I'm like, man, we can do the same race. And my I had a basketball roommate, and he was like, yo, Cap. He's like, man, I don't know if you can beat Flood. His guy named Flood. I was like, man, listen. I'm like, I got him. He's like, man, I don't want to bet back with you, but I'm going to do it since you're my roommate.
Since you're my dog,
Since
I
you're my
got
dog. We lined it up, Stu. I beat him too. So now, the track
you. Was
coach,
there money on that?
Yes, it was money on it.
Every time.
Oh, man, Stu.
So how many times did this happen?
I'm pretty sure gambling is prohibited at the NCAA level, but we're just gonna go ahead and
Hey, man,
put it
look,
right there. We're gonna switch it up.
NIL has clearly disclosed that this is possible.
But, Stu, it was
You know
I
what?
beat him twice, bro.
So look, when I heard the story, I wasn't surprised. I said, first of all, I figured it was short distance.
Yeah.
Going football player speed, that is absolutely
Now, JK,
to our advantage.
if he would have told me
100.
100, I probably would have told him, nah.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
And then
it's
the
different.
thing about it, Stu, was it was during the season. Imagine if I would have pulled a muscle.
Oh yeah.
Or anything would have happened.
That was stupid that you did that.
It was crazy. Spurrier got on me. Spurrier got on me big time when he found out, hey, man, you out there, you got football players out here running and
and your
this and that.
spares.
I mean,
He got on me
look,
big time, but hey, I made a little money.
Did you run twice in the spares?
Yeah.
It was the same day?
Same day.
Oh.
We lined it back up because the other guy, he was like, oh, I bet he can't beat me. And I'm like, bro, it's 30, 40 yards. Y'all
Well,
not beating me.
whoever those guys are must be disappointed.
They were very disappointed. They still talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
I go on Facebook sometimes to see those guys. I laugh at them.
Uh-huh.
They was like, yeah, I remember you got out. I bet you won't run it. Let's run 100. Man,
Yeah.
I'm not running nowhere no more.
He ain't running up the steps.
Cal,
no,
I'll
I'm
beat
good.
you. I'll beat you right now.
Stu, I would smoke you.
I will smoke you, dog.
Stu, like
You
like when I first
you know
got
where
when I
J-
first got drafted. Let me tell you
I'm
this
gonna wallet
story.
that.
When I first got drafted, I seen Jonathan Stewart in the locker room. A guy who never really practiced. He didn't practice till Friday. Let's get that straight. He know that.
talk about that.
He didn't practice till Friday. So
He was that guy.
yeah, he was that guy. So I'm coming in, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man,
Long leash.
look at this running back. I'm like, there's no way this running. He's a running back.
Yeah.
I'm like, he got to play linebacker, maybe even D tackle.
Dang.
Built like Aaron Donald.
Yes. I'm like looking at him, I'm like, wow.
Right.
So he don't practice on Wednesday. I'm like, man, you know, it's cool. We get in training camp, we do a couple reps, but he always on the sideline. I'm like, how they know he good? Like, I seen him do stuff at Oregon, but how they really know this guy's good? Because, you know, I was in college.
What was
So-
your-
We practiced.
Wait.
The guys that practice played,
Let's
right?
take it.
Yes.
What was your signing bonus?
Don't worry about it.
That's how you know.
But yeah,
That's
so
how
I'm
you
saying,
know.
I'm like, first round pick, I'm like, man, there's no way this kid, like this guy, like we around the same age. I'm like, it's no way he can move like this.
Yeah, because you
being
did that in
big.
2009.
Yes.
Yep.
I got you.
Friday practice come around, JK. Mind you, training camp, student practice really training camp.
Well, he had the toe.
Yeah. For 3 years.
I know.
Yeah.
All life.
Yeah.
My whole
The
life.
toe, for the record, has made its way into every episode we've had since we started this podcast.
It
So
was crazy, man.
Everybody know about that
Yes,
toe.
that toe, he never really practiced. Friday come around, Fast Friday. So I'm like, man. So everybody messing with all the veterans. New player alert.
Oh, shoot.
28 out. So we look, I'm all right. So rookie year, they put me on a scout team here and there. So Stu, he come through the line of scrimmage, made one cut, boom, boom, got out of there. I'm sitting there like, whoa. I'm like, yo.
he fresh.
He is fresh. So I'm thinking like, man, he's just fresh. I'm kind of a little beat up. Game come around. Stu get it, boom, 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 hit the sideline. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, he got it.
I'm like, you don't supposed to move this. Being this big, you don't supposed to move that fast.
I'm gonna tell you something about Cap though. Cap, like he miniature in size, but it do not matter. We already know about Cap's upbringing.
That's right.
We know all the things that you had to go through in
We'll
your
get to that.
life, and we'll get to that. But I'm gonna tell you, Cap coming off the edge, I hated it.
Oh,
I couldn't. Every time I see him, I be trying to like get my payback because when you get those guys in practice where you just don't really know what you're gonna get into the last minute. That's who Cap was.
Cowboy blitz.
Yeah, he'll come off the edge, and it's that last split second when you got throwing your hands, and he just delivers this like lower boom for no reason, just to like prove a point.
Not to cut you off, Stu. I'll never forget a training camp. Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
It's like 2012.
Story alert.
Listen. So they put me at nickel because Rivera got here. So
Yeah.
Rivera made me a nickel. He's like, all right, you can be one of the best nickels.
You start getting your sacks
Yes.
too.
So JK, they put me out there in blitz pickup, right? Blitz pickup. So I'm like, man, they got me going against Stu, D-Lo. I'm like, man, I don't really supposed to be down here. I want to go one-on-ones with the receivers.
Right.
But they know you're going to go do some blitz pickup first. Stu come up first. I'm like, man, what I'm going to do? So they told us now, no bull rushing.
Right.
They told us no
Always.
bull rushing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I'm 195 pounds. Stu 240.
Who I'm gonna bull rush?
Man, I'm like, listen, bro, like, I don't care. Like, they said no bull rush. I get up there, come out full speed off the edge. Boom, 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 acting like I'm making a move. Stu throw his hand. I go. Stu said, oh, no, we got to go again. He's like, no, He's like, nah. He said, they told you no bull rush. I said, man, I'm 195 pounds, man. You should be able to handle that.
Run it back.
So D'Angelo go next. So they put me up there against D'Angelo. I did the same exact thing. When I say Stu was so mad at me at practice,
Bro.
it's like, listen, all right, we got something
They
for
were
you.
coming for you.
What? They said, we got something for you. And then Stu told me something. You know what? We just going to cut you next time. I'm 195 pounds, bro.
But bro,
He's
look,
explosive.
pound for pound,
Yeah.
Captain is strong. He might have been like, pound for pound the strongest guy on the team.
Yeah, House used to say that. You know, House
what
was
I'm
like
saying?
pound for pound, probably the
Pound for
strongest guy on
pound,
the team.
absolutely were.
Yeah.
Like you was over there working out with us sometimes.
Yeah.
Running backs.
I prided myself on being a strong. I felt like it kept me healthy.
Right.
You know, I'm already, like you said, I'm not a big guy, so me doing all the things I need to do in the weight room, on the field, like it just mattered to me. Like that's how I stay healthy. Like I look at my career sometimes, and I'm like, people like, man, how you only missed 5 games? You know, in 10 years, I was like, I stayed in the weight room, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like these guys these days, some guys don't like to lift weights. Like
Right.
DBs, they be like, man, I ain't going in there to lift no weights. But that's how I felt like I stayed healthy because, man, I had to hit guys like you.
Right.
You know, I had to go blitz off the edge.
You were
and-
covering big wideouts too.
Yeah,
man.
I had to play guys like you, man. And so I felt like being in the weight room, it gave me my advantage. It gave me my advantage to really, stay in the league and stay healthy.
Like where does that come from? Your work ethic, just growing up. Like take us through your first moment where you fell in love with football.
My first moment, man, we started playing football very young in Mobile, in Alabama. So my first time playing football, I was 4 years old. I was 4 years old. Tackle football.
Mm-hmm.
So I will never forget, man, my first position. Y'all ready to laugh? Oh, my God.
Guard.
Oh, how you know?
I told you. I
You
know
was
too.
pudgy?
I did my research.
No, no,
You was pudgy,
no,
dog.
but no. So what happened was I was new to football.
Okay.
4 years old. Some guys were already advanced. You know, some guys I was playing with the 5 and 6 years old, and I begged my mom to play football.
Yeah.
So she threw me out there with my cousin them. She was like, "Yeah, go out there with your cousin them." They put me at offensive guard, bro. I'm sitting there like, man, this ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did, right?
What?
I hung them cleats up right then and there. Like, man, I ain't playing no offensive guard. Like, I want the ball in my hand. This
Right.
thing. So the next year, I went to a whole nother park where nobody knew me at.
Uh-huh.
See, everybody knew me at the park, from the, the projects I grew up in and stuff. So everybody knew, oh, that's Lil Cap. They called me Lil Cap. And when I went to another park, nobody knew me. So now they start giving me the ball. I'm starting making people miss. And when I played my old park, I never forget. When I played my old park, I always told those guys, I'm going to kill y'all.
Right.
Or put me at offensive guard. And that's how it happened, man. And my work ethic just came from being a small guy, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at my backstory, my story of my life, I was born premature.
Yeah.
I was born premature. So I was 3 months early. So in and out of the hospital. And I never was this big guy. My brothers are bigger than me. They 6'1", 6'2". I always say, man, why I couldn't get that height? I'd be $100 million corner. I used to always say that. But I don't know if I would have had the same work ethic. So me being a smaller guy made me feel like I had to bring something different to the table. I had to show these guys that, man, I'm going to work my tail off. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that to stay where I'm at and try to keep it going, man. So I think that's what it really was.
I know your mom's plays a huge role in your life.
Man.
I know, like, growing up in the house, like, what were some of the things that you just remember your mom's telling you that just
listen, Stu,
in your heart?
Stu and JK, man. Listen, I had a mom that made me go to church. I had that type of mom made me go to Bible study. It wasn't no missing nothing.
Right.
Like growing up, I'm at Wednesday night Bible study faithfully.
Oh, same
like
here.
I'm going. Sunday school, I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't care what I got going on. If they having vacation Bible school, you best believe Captain Munnerlyn gonna be there every single day of vacation Bible school. I don't care if you have to leave football practice or track practice, you're gonna be at vacation Bible school. My mom is the crazy. This is a crazy story right here, man. My mom got saved. She gave her life to God at a funeral. I was in the 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And we were going to a church called Gone with the Wind. I'll never forget. And my mom go to a funeral. She drugged me in with her, and she changed her life right then and there. And I seen a whole 360, man.
Yeah.
From my mom.
Yeah.
So now she installed that in me. Like, no, Mom, man, I got football practice. I don't get out till 6 o'clock. Oh, well, I'll be there. You going to church? Church start at 6:30.
Yeah.
So if you better take a shower at the school
Better
or
hydrate.
Yep. Put some deodorant on. So you going to church?
Mm-hmm.
And she installed that in me, man. And I think that's just what got me to where I am today. And everybody was like, you played in the NFL, this and that, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like the discipline that I got and the stuff that she just, man, that mama's prayer, man. That prayer, man. Mama's prayers go a long way.
They do, man.
Undefeated now.
Man, listen, I give my mom all the credit, man, because my pops died when I was 6 years old.
Right.
So I really didn't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? So my mom is all I knew.
Yeah.
And she sacrificed so much for me to get in the position that I am today and still do. Like, if I call my mom right now, she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, man, one story, I know I could talk about my mom all day, man. I'm telling you, I could talk about this
See the
lady
joy.
all
See the
day.
joy.
And this lady, my sophomore year, I started driving. I'll never forget. I started driving. And my mom, she had a car, almost like a brand new car. But I told my mom I wanted this Montero Sport. I'll never forget. Seen the Montero Sport, I wanted blue. My mom turned in her car.
Wow.
Got me the brand new Montero Sport so I can get back and forth to school. And my mom went and got an old Cadillac.
Wow.
Old Cadillac, old beat up Cadillac. It's like, man, I'm just going to work, this and that. I want to make sure my son is taken care of.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like,
A mother's
wow.
love, man.
Like, that took the cake for me for sure. I was sitting there like, I knew my mom always loved me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but to just
Yeah, not a lot of parents move that way.
No,
and not a lot of, especially single moms. You know what I'm saying? They struggle themselves. They can make up every excuse in the book as far as why they can't.
Yeah, and I never had that mom, man. And to this day, like, it's whatever with my mom. She would still do the same thing. And even when I made it, like, I went about my mom, like, simple stuff. Like, I never forget, I bought my mom a Louis Vuitton purse. And it's like, after I got paid and stuff like that, this lady never really wore it. I seen my sister with it. I'm like, man, how you get that? I'm like, yo, how you get that? She talking about, Mom had it in the closet. I'm sitting there like, no. Wow. So my mom is she's a simple mom. Like, my mama, she'll hit me up to this day and be like, yo, Captain, I'm at Dirt Cheap. It's a store in Alabama. I'm at Dirt Cheap. Can you send me $20? Sure, here you go. Right. And I got that type of mom. Like, she never really asked for nothing. She never really pressured me. She just want me to be successful. She want me to take care of my kids, and she want to be the best version of Captain Munnerlyn I can be.
I like that. Shout out to Mama.
Oh yeah,
Mama man. Cap.
You're overcomer. I mean, hearing you outline your story, obviously relationship with moms. I think a lot of NFL players, not to blanket us, but you see it all the time. There's just something special when most guys have relationships with their mothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Certainly football players. You just see it all the time. You see it in the locker room. You see you guys at the game. This past weekend, y'all got to see Sherrod Martin. Martin came back. Sherrod came back and brought his mother. He's like, man. He's like, that weekend meant so much to my mom, being able to be back in the space with my kids who weren't around while I was playing. There's a special bond. There's a special tie there, man. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. But an overcomer, man. I mean, 7th round pick.
Yeah.
10 years in the league, that don't happen by accident. To hear you outline your story, to hear you outline your motivation as you just did, right? You had someone that was sacrificing for you. How do you not repay that with effort? How do you not repay that with dedication? How do you not repay that with the commitment that you showed? So kudos to you, man. Amazing career that kicked off, obviously, at South Carolina under Steve Spurrier.
Oh, yeah.
Now I gotta believe, because I'm gonna go back, right? Because we all, and I think all of us here have a background rooted in faith, and we can speak to that, as you just mentioned. And I came up in the church as well. But you get to college and you get pulled in a lot of directions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right, and you go through those challenges just as you're growing as a young man and as an adolescent, as a student athlete, and the challenges and the pressures that come with that too. Mm-hmm. So you have this life of this newfound freedom, right, as a student athlete, and notoriety, and you're empowered, you're recruited, you're insulated within your team as a student athlete, but then you also have this structured environment of extreme discipline that you have to maintain as well, right? And then you try to balance faith life in that, right, with trying to find time for church or Bible study or what have you, right?
Prioritize.
And as a young kid, we ain't always make the right decisions.
Oh no.
Right?
Oh, no.
Right? And so, I'm sure that was a struggle for you maybe when we went, like, we all probably dealt with that, balancing that, juggling that a little bit now. And you probably see it now as a coach,
right?
For sure. At Myers Park, right?
Yep.
So how do you impart your experiences down to these young kids right now?
Oh, man, I always tell these young kids, even like you said, even at Myers Park, when I went off to school, it wasn't nobody give me up in the morning. It wasn't nobody get me up. My mom got me up almost every morning when I was in high school. Every single morning. It was like clockwork.
Now you're on your own.
Now I'm on my own. I'll never forget going to the University of South Carolina. My first day on campus, we had like a 6:30 workout. I was late. I was late. First day.
What happened?
Freshman. Oh, they ran me, boy.
Because we used to say,
yo,
if you late, don't come.
Yeah,
listen,
don't come.
We'll meet you in the locker room.
And I don't know no better. I'm a freshman.
Right.
So I came anyway. I get there like 6:37, and I had an excuse. I was like, man, the train was coming in Columbia. There'd be trains coming all the time.
Okay.
I said the train was coming, and I couldn't get over the train track. It's like, okay, it's cool.
Nice excuse.
Right.
Good try.
Yeah.
Try again.
They let me come in.
You think they ain't heard that before?
They let me come in, JK and Stu, work out. Killed me in the workout. I threw up and everything. I'll never forget, threw up and everything. And after the workout, he's like, yeah, strength and condition coach come. He's like, oh, yeah, Captain, meet me in the weight room. I'm sitting there like, huh? I said, I got class. He was like, what time your class start? I was like, start at 9. He's like, you got enough time. So we had a thing here at South Carolina, the Stairmaster. Y'all know the Stairmaster.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, yeah. He's like, you got 300 floors, before you go to class. I'm sitting there like, 300 floors. I'm like, all right. I'm like, so steps, like 1, 2. I'm counting. I don't know no better. I'm counting 1, 2, 3. So that's 300 steps. I'm thinking 300 steps. Nah. Floors.
Yeah.
Before I even went to class. Man, I went late again.
Oh, of course not.
No.
That's the reason why them punishments be
They
outlandish.
killed me.
I remember one time, bro, we had a guy, we won't say who it was in college, but boy was late.
Yeah.
We all had to be in the stadium.
Oh.
That's the worst.
We had that story before. And they made him watch us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's even the worst.
Oh, man, we wanted to fight.
Yeah,
I
what you doing?
I already got little man syndrome. I was ready to throw them things. Like, listen, I don't care if he bigger than me or not. I'm not running no more for you, man. Like, nah, we had guys like that in college too.
Accountability.
Yeah, so that's what I be trying to do with these kids, man. Just let them know, like, you got mom and dad, now. You got coaches telling you now. But when you go to the next level, college, they ain't there. Like, the guy who recruited me to the University of South Carolina, when I got to campus and I was late that first day, he talked to me like I was nothing. I was sitting there like, this not the same guy that recruited me. I'm like, yo, where's the guy that was recruiting me? I called my mom and everything. I'm like, Mom, she was like, well, you need to get your stuff together.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself together. And I'm trying to tell those guys.
The sooner that you get it, the better off you'll be.
That's why I'm trying to tell these guys now. Like, even in high school, they late to class.
Yeah.
They not wearing what they're supposed to, like at practice. I'm like, listen.
Yeah, showing up on time just proves to everybody that it matters.
It matters,
It
man.
matters to you.
It
matters. That you see yourself not as the most important thing or person amongst the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it matters, but also you talk about dress code. You talk about, uniform.
That's simple
stuff. It just
stuff,
means
man.
that you are willing to sacrifice yourself for the betterment of the team.
See, when I was in high school, I had to end up having a great high school coach coming in my sophomore year and like changing the program of my high school. And he really taught my team like the discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like before then, man, we didn't care what we were. We was mismatched socks. Nobody cares. But he really made us a team. He made us all get the same cleats.
Yeah.
He made us all wear the same socks. He made us all like wear the same pads. Like it was like everything. So I got that team stuff early in me. So when I went off to college, it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, this how it look.
And it teaches you like the unit, like to be a good team, to have a good locker room.
Oh man,
you
that's
gotta
the key.
have uniform minds.
Yes.
Like
yes.
We wear the same uniform, but we gotta be uniformed here, mentally. Mm-hmm. We gotta be on the same page whenever we lose, whenever we win, like where we go through hard times, injuries. Like right now, the Carolina Panthers right now are going through a bunch of injuries.
They
right?
banged up. Yep.
These are moments where you start finding out what the DNA really is.
Yeah.
And it comes from people that are willing to say no to myself because the guy next to me matters more than what I think or more than what I should be dressed up, whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But all those types of things, personality-wise, that can also live in the same room. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Two things can exist as long as you are on the same playing level mentally. And when you get that going with these young kids, especially right now, I'm coaching middle school football.
Yeah.
With Greg and Luke and at Charlotte Christian. And one of the things that we tell them is, I tell my running backs, hey, look, when the ball is snapped, you do not matter. The only thing that matters on the field is the ball. You do not matter. No, your teammate, like, if they have the ball, they matter because they carry the ball. Once the whistle is blown, everybody matters again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's putting the emphasis on we are all here for one reason and one reason only, and it's to take care of the football and to win games. And so all the things such as wearing the uniforms, showing up on time, eating when everybody else is eating, like being respectful to your coach, all those types of things go hand in hand with that mindset of less of me and more of the team. And I love that. What you pouring that into these high schoolers.
Yeah, I'm trying to let them know.
And it's harder to drill it into the high schoolers.
It is different now.
I was just gonna say,
it's
I was gonna touch on that.
so different now than when we grew up.
So, well, they and look, I give them grace because they have access that we didn't.
We didn't
Yes.
have.
Yes.
Yeah, all the distractions.
So you got to see what was around you, right? We had, social media really was just becoming a thing. I think when I was in, we were all getting right out of
YouTube.
college.
Yeah,
right?
in college.
So,
Facebook was
Twitter,
when I was in
right?
college.
Twitter, Facebook was, all those things, right? But now, number one, athletes have more access to pro athletes than ever before.
Yes.
So before it was you could see them on Sunday. And if you lived in an NFL city, you might be lucky to run into one.
Man, I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
I don't think I ever seen a pro athlete.
Right.
I'm dead serious.
And now you can step inside their home, see what they're wearing, see what they eat, see how they dress, and we get to see it, and it's glorified, and it's great, right? It gets you, because now it makes it about the player's personality, and the fan can have that connection more than just the team.
Yeah.
But there's also the point of detrimental returns. Pro athletes have earned their right and have the capacity to operate in a certain way. High school kids, you got to cut your teeth.
Yeah.
Right. You're still a child,
Right.
In a lot of ways, right? So, from authority to listening to operating within the confines of a coach in his demands or your team, to, like Stu said, you really can't be bigger than the team.
Yeah.
Right, at the high school level, but nowadays you got these NIL deals.
I know,
man.
man.
So I'm not.
They just passed that in
poo-pooing
Charlotte
right?
too, man.
But
in North Carolina,
it is great because it's a new opportunity for athletes that can market themselves at a young age and understand themselves as a business and what have
But I
you.
really think it's so important to have guys like yourself. What I would like to see more is a lot more pro athletes, retired or current, investing more time into the future.
yeah,
Go coach those middle school teams. Go
That's right.
coach those high school teams if you have the time, or if you feel that itch to get back into football for whatever reason. Go do that because you have an opportunity to really invest, this knowledge and wisdom into these kids to help them grow the right way.
How else would they know?
Because they basically getting paid. If they don't start getting paid in high school, they basically,
Right.
semi-pro.
Right.
yeah,
Right. 100%.
and they really need to know the ins and out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a lot of benefit to it, and so but Cap, if you had to narrow it, I'm sticking to coaching topic here, right? Because you're coaching at the high school level, at a very known school that has historically had a lot of success. Little challenges this year, had some injuries, but you also got to wet your feet at the NFL level, right? And you got to go back. You spent the summer at the fellowship program, was the Bill Walsh coaching fellowship up with the Buffalo Bills this summer, right? So, what was that experience like? Two-part question, but what is it about coaching, if you had to narrow it down to one thing that makes you want to stay connected to the game or the coach at the next level?
I think, man, the experience that I had this summer was unmatched. It was unmatched. I felt like I was back in the locker room. I felt like I was back with the guys. Coaching at that level was outstanding. Because in high school and middle school, you have to break it down a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the pro level, I can say cover 3, they already know what it is.
Right.
Cover 4, I already know what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to go back and coach those guys and be up there with some guys that I was known, that I knew, like Sherm McDermott, Bobby Babbage, my first coach, my first ever nickel coach.
Right.
And to have those guys really show me the ropes of the NFL game was unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
It was unmatched, man. That was top notch.
Yeah, what are the things that you were surprised by at that level of coaching that you look back at your playing career and the coaches that coached you?
Yeah.
And you being a knucklehead that I know you are, what are some things that you can look back and say, dang, whew, my coach had a day with me because this right here, I see it from the other side.
Yes. So that's crazy. So Bobby used to always tell me come in his office. We used to go in his office and we go over certain plays, and he was asking me how I see certain things and stuff like that. And we had, I'm not going to say the guy's name, we had a guy who I used to think act just like me, like just like me. And I was like, man, I don't know why he keep doing this, like this and that. And Bobby looked at me. He looked at me and said, remind me of a guy I used to know. And I'm sitting there like,
I can see Bobby doing that.
I'm like, man, who you talking about? I'm like, man, no, I ain't used to act like that. He said, a 23, 24-year-old Captain Munnerlyn used to act just like that. And I sat there and thought about it. I'm sitting there like, dang.
Yo,
looking
Cap,
at
Cap, the only player that I know that was able to argue with a coach and then have them both walk away from the conversation smiling. You're the only one that I know, bro. I remember seeing you and Coach Rivera always like Coach, he was grabbing me, Coach.
That's a great impression, Cap.
Hey,
Just like me.
hey, Cap, calm down. It's okay. Just make sure next time you move your feet. I was moving my feet. Like, and I'm over here looking at Coach. I'm looking at this conversation like, yeah, just move your feet. You got little feet. But it just amazes me, like, your personality when we drafted you in 2009, and just watching you progress through coaching and the coaching changes, the new defenses, and all that. 2013 was a year for your boy.
Yeah.
Because I remember this was a year that I was hurt for majority of the year, messed up my ankle, came back, and then had tore my MCL, and tried to make it back for the playoffs. When we had a playoff run, it was 12-4. We lost to the 49ers in the playoffs. But being able to, because I was injured, I was able to watch a lot of the play, watch a lot of the players. Like, take me through your progression from 2009 to 2013, where, to me, I was watching Captain Munnerlyn at playing at a high level, like an all-time level, in my opinion.
2009, I would say 2009, I was just trying not to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I was a rookie, a 7-round pick, beat out a couple guys to make the team, and end up being, one of the guys on defense as a rookie and the punt returner. Don't discredit my punt return skills.
Let's sit on that. Lean in there.
Okay.
2nd round pick, Captain Munnerlyn, Columbia, South Carolina. You felt like you had to make the team.
Yes.
2nd round pick. Usually 2nd round pick.
No, 7th.
I'm about to say 7th. I'm about to say 2nd. I was like, wait a minute now.
No, 7th.
Yeah, 7th. Okay, so
7th. I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
I had to prove myself. Yeah. And me being a 7th round pick, Stu, in the same draft class as they drafted a corner 2nd round, I felt like, man, either they're going to practice squad me or let me go.
Right.
So me coming in, back in the day, we didn't have rookie minicamp. We came in without veterans.
Right.
So my first day of practice, I'm seeing guys like Steve Smith, Musa Muhammad, Dwayne Jarrett, Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams. I'm seeing all guys on offense.
Rosario.
Yes. I'm like, 2009, I'm coming in. They gave me the number 41. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Cool. I'm going to make it look good.
You
and
did.
I'm like, yo, going out there, I'll never forget. I'm going against guys like Kenny Moore and all those guys. We battling. I go out there, and Moose used to call me Hands because I used to always jam people up because, I'm shorter than everybody.
Yeah.
So I used to move my feet, get my hands on you, and try to finish you off. And being in 2009, like I said, they drafted a guy 2nd round. I felt like I had to outwork him. I felt I had to do something special. So me, man, if they want me to catch punts, I'm going to do it. If they want me to be a gunner, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
If they want me on kickoff team, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do whatever they want me to do to make this football team. It ain't guaranteed for me. This is my only shot.
Yeah.
So I can't miss.
Right.
So that's why I played so hard. In 2009, I was a guy, a little nervous, like, man, I don't want to make mistakes. I remember I used to go out there, cover guys, this and that, make a play, this and that, and I always used to look to the sideline, to my coach. He was like, man, just play. I was like, I'm just making sure I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to make him mad or mess up so I won't have this opportunity to play again. So 2009, I kind of just try to get my feet wet. 2010 come around, I'm like, okay, a couple guys get hurt. It's me, Richard Marshall, Chris Gamble. I'm like, yo, let's rock it out. It's time for me to make some plays. I go out there, probably had one of my best year of football. Had one of my best year of football, and then all of a sudden, bam, coaching change. 2011 come around.
Talk about how difficult a coaching change is
man.
for the people that have – we've been experiencing a lot of coaching changes here at Carolina.
Including today and around the NFL.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Jets.
Yes. So it's crazy. I thought I had established a relationship with the coaches that I had. And with John Fox, the defense that we ran, Coach Miles, Coach Meeks, those guys.
You a Monegator?
Yeah. So I had established a relationship with those guys, and I made a name for myself with that coaching staff. When turmoil hit and all that go away, those guys are gone. It's like, man, this new coaching staff come in, they might not like a little corner. They might not like Captain Munnerlyn. They probably want these bigger guys. So 2011 come around, we get Coach Rivera, and my world is shook a little bit. I'm like, man, I'm looking at where he came from. I'm looking at all the guys he coached. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's going to like me.
Yeah, it's a lockout year too.
Lockout year. So I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. I come out there, play my butt off, and all of a sudden me and Coach Rivera would get a good relationship, and he talked me into playing nickel. Probably was the best move that he ever made for my career. He seen something in me that I didn't see.
Yeah.
I never was a nickel back. Our guys always thought, oh, man, he's a nickel. He's just a nickel. No, I never played nickel until Coach Rivera. What happened was in 2009 and 10, we had Richard Marshall and Chris Gamble. I came in on third down. Richard Marshall slid into the nickel. I still played corner. People didn't know that. Yeah. People thought that I used to come in on third down and going to nickel. Never. Richard was the nickel. So Rivera come to me. He's like, listen, I think you can be like a Ricky Manning. I'm sitting there like, man, Ricky Manning? I'm like, man, I can't be no Ricky Manning, man. I'm like, man, no. I'm like, no. So I struggle with it, Stu. I struggle with it, man. When Coach Rivera talked to me about playing nickel, a lot of people don't know this story, and I'm going to go ahead and say it on the Panther podcast.
Yeah.
I walked out. I asked for a trade. I called my agent. I was like, man, this is BS. I'm coming off a good year. I don't want to be here no more. Rivera walked into the locker room and told me, come here. He explained to me. He's like, listen, I want you to be the nickel because I feel like you can make some money playing nickel. You can be one of the best nickels in the NFL. I truly believe, he looked me in my eyes and said, Captain, I truly believe you can be the best nickel in the NFL. I'm sitting there like, man, nickels don't get paid. Nickels don't do this. They don't make the Pro Bowl. They can't be all pro. I'm thinking about myself at the time. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. No, I don't want to do it. He said, listen, just go home, think about it. I went home. I was like, man, I talked to my mom. She was like, you love football, right? I was like, yes, ma'am. She was like, that's going to have you on the field? Yes, ma'am. Well, go do it. Go do something you love. Like, why talk about getting traded, doing all this extra stuff, and you love Carolina. You are an hour away from South Carolina. It's the perfect situation for you. Go do it. Came in the next day, Bobby Babbage. Rivera made Bobby Babbage my personal coach to teach me the nickel. I felt a little crazy because I was the only one in the room with him. It would just be me and Bobby. I'm sitting there like, why they got me just in here by myself, man? Like, come on, man.
The bad kid in class.
I'm the bad kid in class.
I was the bad kid in class.
That speaks volumes, though, man, right?
Yes.
And that's a sign, one, of a great coach.
Yes.
A coach that can take you above your own personal beliefs.
Listen, he took me, man. Listen, and I used to meet with Bobby. Bobby used to have me on the field 30 minutes early. I'm still in the locker room. I'm out there on the field by myself.
Yeah.
With this guy.
Last one.
I'm like, man, he used to get on my nerves. And we talked about this when I went to Buffalo. I said, man, you used to really get on my nerves, but I thank you. Because you really pulled in me, and I didn't know that I had in me.
For the people listening right now, if you don't have a coach that is jumping on you to be better, that's a bad sign.
It's when they're quiet that you gotta worry.
That means it's over.
When they're quiet, when they're not coaching you,
requirement.
that's when you gotta
coach
worry.
be trying to coach.
No,
you.
I think it's when you fall into a situation where coaches are pouring into you, especially a head coach.
Man, listen.
Right? Because I don't think many people, not every NFL team across the league, there's some places where the head coach is kind of a figurehead.
Yes.
Right? And he's making situational calls, and he's handling the things that are up here. Right?
Yeah.
And then he delegates down OC to the position, etc. But when you got a cat that is tapped in like that,
Listen, man.
giving you a coach, a signing, saying, hey, I need you to invest in this guy,
it got even,
it does something.
It got even better for me because Rivera used to run the individual.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come over there with Bobby, me, Rivera, and Bobby. We doing individual.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulled into me in that position. I'm sitting there like, man. Then I fast forward to 2013, like Stu said, man, I probably had the best year ever. Now I'm the Richard Marshall. Now I'm starting outside. Now Rivera gave me a little love. All right, I feel like you the best guy. You the best corner on the team. All right, you can play outside, but on third down, you at the nickel.
I want to go back through that story. What caught my attention, man, was the fact that there was a few things. When you mentioned you're looking to the sideline, when you mentioned I'm not sure I can be a Richard Marshall, there is a lack of confidence or uncertainty with a guy who's so confident.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think is another thing that, a lot of players you lean into, especially at the pro level. There's going to come points in your career where you question,
man.
Can I do
what
it?
You say?
Ooh, am I that good? Am I capable? In life, but certainly on the field, right? You look across, they on scholarship too, right? What we say. But
JK, I think with that, not to cut you off,
where did that come from?
I think that come from we being athletes, we always been guys. When you was in high school, you was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
When you was in high school, you was a guy. When you went to college and started excelling, you was a guy.
Yeah.
Jonathan Stewart, you was a guy. Jeremy Kelley, you was a guy. Mm-hmm. South Carolina, I was a guy. Now when you get to the pro level, we all guys.
Yeah.
Everybody a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody. Then some guys are a better guy than you.
Right.
You just have to face the fact.
Right.
When I got to the NFL and I seen some of these guys in the locker room and seen some of these guys run, seeing a Jonathan Stewart being 290 pounds.
Right. Dang, dog, 235. All right.
Seeing a guy really.
Right.
You look up his 40 time, I look up my 40 time like.
You start thinking you're just a guy.
Man, this guy faster than me.
Just a jag,
And just a jag. But like the term of don't be a guy, be
the guy.
The guy. And that's where like it becomes something deeper, right? We had Beeson on last week.
Yeah.
Run through a wall.
That's how it is, man. Man, I miss John Beeson.
Like
bro.
you had a lot. Like listen, our defense, like from 2008 all the way through when I played, basically, right? Our defense legit had this heartbeat that just like the sweat, like of just greatness.
Man, it came
like
from
how
guys,
you practice.
man. It came from guys like John Beeson, Thomas Davis,
Yeah.
Luke Kuechly, Julius Peppers, even Charles Johnson. Like, man, those guys, they really like installed in that defense. And when I say I was so like locked in when I played with those guys because I didn't want to let those guys down, and they held me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was so much accountability on that team and on them defenses because I didn't want to let those guys down.
Right.
You had a guy like, not to cut you off like, man, Stu, we had guys like John Beeson. He used to send pictures in the group chat, videos in the group chat. He working out.
Yeah. What y'all doing?
What y'all doing? We sitting there like,
what y'all doing?
What's wrong with him?
Man, listen.
No, but that's
listen, it's Friday, man. I'm like, man, I'm out, bro. I'm being real.
You came down there to Florida.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm out. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Man, I'm working out. Y'all don't want to be great.
Right.
Man,
Set the
Beast,
tone.
man. Listen, bro, it's
Set
the
the
off
tone.
season,
I'm tired,
bro.
dog.
I'm tired, bro. I just want to
You're
go
gonna
out
be
tonight.
tired on the couch
Right.
too.
That's leadership.
That's leadership,
That's
bro.
leadership.
Then
You
you tap in with guys like TD.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
You got to rise to that level. Before Stu, you go back because when you mentioned 2008 and you start naming guys on the roster, you can go down the list. But there's a cat that you mentioned who was joined us this past weekend, Chris Gamble.
oh man,
Hands down.
that's my OG, man.
I want to ask you about this because you shared a room with him, and I think he's a name that doesn't come up often enough.
He don't get enough
And
respect, man.
I had as a Buckeye fan growing up, it was the first major college campus I ever stepped foot on. I got to meet Chris and Coach Tressel and Mike Doss and these cats that, that was the 2002 national championship team that beat Ohio State.
Miami, they beat Miami.
Or I'm sorry,
Miami.
excuse me, forgive me. Yes, beat Miami.
Yeah.
you got to share a room with Chris. He was one of the most electrifying athletes in college, and when he got like, what type of athlete was Chris Gamble? You know, because he again,
smooth,
you just mentioned
man.
the caliber, and I know Chris is, you know, he was a great professional player too. So where does he land? Like, what was that experience like, Chris?
Man, Gam, he didn't say much.
Quiet. No
Quiet
doubt.
guy. Quiet guy. Like, Gam will be in here, he'll laugh at Stooge. He wouldn't say much. Gam, he ain't gonna say much. Yeah. But when he spoke, you knew it was real. He's more like a Julius Pepper a little bit. When they speak, it's like, whoa. But Gam, man, athleticism, the person he was on the field and off the field, he was my OG because he taught me a lot. And he took me under his wings in that room and taught, like, really showed me everything. He showed me how to watch film. He showed me all these different things, how to study people, tendencies. He really was the true pro, man. He was a true pro. And on the field, man, that first step, I never seen a corner with a first step like Chris Gamble. When he sees something, he go. Throw a hitch. You can't throw a hitch on Chris Gamble. I knew I was getting all the hitches. Me. If I was opposite Chris Gamble, oh man, they ain't throwing a hitch over there.
Going over there.
Nah, because he gonna go the other way with it.
Right.
His three-step read, the best in the business. He read that three-step, he going the other way. Me, I'm like, I don't believe it. Nope, they ain't throwing it. I'm questioning it. Gam just went. Wow. He played, man, and to this day, man, I don't think he get the respect that he deserved. Right. He still know it. Number 1 all-time Panther interceptions.
You might be right about that.
He's still number 1.
Look that one up. Matt, we can put Matt on that.
I think he's still number 1. He don't get the respect that he deserves sometimes because he wasn't flashy. You know, Gam wasn't loud.
Yeah.
Gam don't talk that much. You know, DBs, normally the great DBs, they going to let you know about it.
Yeah.
You know, we going to let you know.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm the best. I'm him.
I thought it was worth calling out, man, because he is that type of player, right?
Man, Gam was special.
No question.
You know, and people don't talk about how he was a little bit of Travis Hunter, too. He played both ways.
Yeah. Very much so.
He played both ways. You know, everybody bring up Charles Woodson. You know, Charles won a Heisman. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
You know, everybody, Champ Bailey. You know, great guys. Chris Gamble should be in that conversation, too.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're going to start talking about Chris Gamble.
Is Gamble in the College Football Hall of Fame?
If not, he should be.
He should definitely be in consideration for that.
Right? He should be. Man,
shout out to Gam, man.
Gam was special, man. That's my OG. Shout out to my OG, man.
Heck yeah. Continue the 2013 season, though. Like, as far as your career, you know, because after that year, you had a great year, and then you tested the free agency.
Yeah.
The next with Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then you ended up coming back to Carolina. Talk about, because I know going to Minnesota, like,
Stu, I cried like a baby. I'm being real with y'all. I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
I told a couple guys this story before. In free agency, testing the water, we get a new GM here, and he liked bigger guys, hog mollies, whatever he used to call them.
Hog mollies.
He didn't like smaller guys, and I'm small. So, testing the free agency water, I go to Minnesota. I call Coach McDermott. I call Coach Rivera. I'm sitting in the GM office in Minnesota. I'm like a little kid. I'm like, man, can I use the restroom? He's like, yeah, sure. You know it's down there. Because they negotiating the contract, trying to get me to stay. I'm calling Coach McDermott and Coach Rivera in the bathroom.
Right.
Like, yo, Coach, man, they offer me something. I can't turn it down. Can y'all, what's going on?
Right.
I don't want to leave. I didn't want to leave Carolina because I was coming off my best years.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff knew me well. Yeah. They knew how to put me in position to make plays. And I played with some guys like Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. I'm at the nickel making plays. Like, yo, they had me in my bag. Like, I really was in my bag. I didn't want to leave. So that's why I go to the bathroom and, hey, Coach McDermott, man, can you please see what's going on? Like, can y'all offer me something?
Like a last-ditch effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when it didn't work, I went back in and I ended up signing my contract. I was happy that, you know, I finally got something that I deserved.
Absolutely.
But in the back of my mind, Stu, I really was hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I really, like, cried, man. Like, I went back to that hotel room sitting there like, now I got to move cities. I don't know nobody up here. You know, I got my college roommate. You know, he played for Minnesota, but I really don't know nobody.
Yeah, got to start over again.
Got to start over. I got comfortable leaving, man. It hurt.
Yeah,
it hurt me, man. I promise, Stu, I was hurt. JK, I was hurt big time. Who be hurt and they going to make $4 or $5 million a year?
Yeah,
I was hurt
because
I didn't want to
that's
leave.
how special it was. So going to 2014, yes, 2014, we played y'all
in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh boy! And then another thing I didn't know. I didn't know we was playing outside.
They were building a new stadium.
Oh man!
What was the coldest game you
Building a
played?
new stadium.
Listen, I didn't know we was playing outside. I would have never signed that thing on contract. Man, listen, Stu, you know me. I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
You should have read the article.
I should have read something. Man, after I signed that contract, I'm like, so is the Metro down? Is
the due diligence wasn't there.
I'm like, is the Metro down gonna be
All
ready?
he saw was the number on the paper.
Listen, they was like, oh no, we playing at the University of Minnesota.
Wow.
Whoa, it ain't a dome?
Yeah.
I would have never, man, listen, the coldest place I ever played in my life.
Up north,
Bro,
man.
when we played y'all,
Man, listen, I knew y'all was in trouble. Y'all came out there tough. They
weren't
coming out there.
ready.
They talking about, we ain't wearing no sleeves. This and that. I'm sitting there like,
Bro.
watch how many I have on.
I didn't
And I
even-
play up here.
I didn't go out for initial
Listen,
warm-ups.
man, JK, man, listen.
It was too
man,
So I know.
Man, it was
Wait,
so cold.
Thielen was there that year.
Yes, Adam Thielen made a name for himself.
Exactly.
Against
so,
y'all.
So I'll take it back. So I'll infuse a little bit here. So 2014, I had gotten an opportunity. My agent had made contact with the Vikings GM, and they bring me in for rookie minicamp. So basically a tryout. And so I'm trying to get back on the roster and get flown into Minnesota. Hold on. Now I'm from Buffalo, went to school in Maine, so I don't care about the cold. I'm just worried about an opportunity.
Yeah, you
trying to get
play.
back in the league.
Yep.
Right, I had been out for a little over a year now. And so get an opportunity to go up in there, and Norv Turner's the OC at this time.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Oh, Norv.
Man, Norv. I've never been in the offense with so many shifts and motions. And
Orbits.
you had to be on your stuff, right?
Trying to confuse the defense, man.
100%. Same
All this
play out of
movement.
3 different formations,
Yeah.
3
Shift and a
snaps.
sift.
Right? So I get there, wide receiver room wasn't deep.
They wasn't too deep.
It was a great opportunity. I'm licking my chops thinking they don't have a big wide eye. I can go
Nah.
get this
Yeah.
thing in there. I can go make some noise. And I knew Norv loved big wide eyes, right? In San Diego, he had the Vincent Jacksons, the Kasim
Kelley.
Osgoods.
Kelley.
He had them guys.
Yep.
And I knew his background. So get there and I see this kid, Thielen. And I'm thinking, hold on now. He was on the practice squad last year. Why is he here at rookie camp? Right? Obviously, he wasn't safe. And you could watch Adam Thielen then in 2014, and they had Thielen at the Z. I was at the X. They had just drafted Teddy Bridgewater, and there was a little bit of chemistry out there. Man, when I tell you, Thielen had it.
He had it, bro.
Out the gate.
You could just see precise route runner, efficient with his movement, in and out of not a blazer, but caught,
everything.
but quick.
Like, it was
And
it
could
was
get in
crazy.
and out of breaks
It was crazy, Stu. I like.
and
He
caught
was
everything.
working you in practice?
Thielen,
I was wondering why he wasn't
look,
playing.
Look, Thielen was crafty.
Like
And that-
scout team wise.
Yes. And
I
so,
told JK that.
You remember
when I
Charlie
met him.
Martin?
Yes, he was like that.
Yeah, Charlie Martin was the same
He
way.
was the same way.
Yes.
But Thielen had a little bit more. To him.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
and toughness. And so I say, when he signed here last year, right? It's been amazing to watch his career blossom because I remember at that time I knew you got to be mad that you're here right now as a practice squad guy and they made you come back. Either mad or motivated.
Yeah.
And obviously he took and went on to make the most of his career, man. So shout out to him. But we just miss each other. And you lucky because I probably would have stalk blocked you in
Man,
the
you
bench.
crazy.
But,
You crazy. Man, you crazy. I got little man syndrome real bad.
Hey,
Everybody
Cap,
know that.
was you trying to tackle that game?
No.
I knew you wasn't.
Man, no. I was so happy y'all was falling before y'all got to me. Man, listen. Man, that game was so cold. That one is the coldest game I ever played in. The coldest game was we played in 2015. We played Seattle, and we supposed to, if we won that game, would have came to play y'all. Would have been amped.
Yeah, that would
Y'all ended up going to the Super Bowl though. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
But that was the coldest game I ever played in. It was like -29 when we played Seattle.
right.
Like
Y'all
Stu,
field goal kicker, Mr.
we lost
yeah.
10-9. But I don't put it on him. I missed a sack that game too. They ended up.
So it's
scoring.
your fault.
I'm that type of guy, Stu. I'm hard on myself. You know that. I'm hard
Shame
on myself.
on you, dog.
Shame on me. Yeah. Shame on me.
Terrible.
When I signed back here, you know, Dave Gettleman, he brung up that they ain't gonna play. Actually, I promise. I was sitting there like, man, come on, man. I was way in Minnesota.
It wasn't your fault, dog.
Special, man.
But playing up there in that cold, man, it really, it made me a man. I felt like I can play any
Southerners.
Yes.
Man. Well, that's
I'm
still not
from
a Southerner,
Alabama,
but
Stu.
bad.
So, Alabama,
Yes.
born and raised.
Born and raised.
You are still local here in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
You got a podcast going on right
Yes,
now. Let's
sir.
talk about it.
I'm
No
trying
cap.
to hold on. Am I the only one without a shirt
Man, you
right
getting
now?
one. It's
Cap?
coming, JK.
Oh,
Listen,
okay.
you'll look. I ain't know what size to give you. I know Stu was an extra large because I just bought his shirt.
What you trying to say?
JK, you probably about 2X, bro.
I'm an XL, man.
No way. Them
Yeah.
long arms, the shirt gonna be way up here.
All right, well, all right, then get me. Go ahead. Here we go. He got to
Yeah,
get
man,
his
we're gonna
off.
get you. He's gonna get you
Heard
a
that.
shirt.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying,
I
you know,
appreciate it, man. It's a nice.
you know,
nice,
it's
dude.
not, yeah,
God,
yeah,
man.
yeah. We
Started
can
a
work on. I mean,
podcast.
I can help you out with. We can get with the marketing team. We can
capping
help
with
you
the-
out with that. But
Well, that's
but
what I need. Then.
I like
Help
it, though.
Me. Help me.
Help me, please.
Cap, I love it, man. Look, and I want to go ahead and I want to ask one question because you did just touch on your second stint here, right? And that's very rare that guys get to go back.
Yeah, man.
Right? It's very rare.
I was
that you
fortunate
get that
to do
opportunity.
that, man.
If there was one word that you had to sum up your time in Carolina and why you made it home today, what is that for you?
Man. Oh, man. I would have to say family, man.
Mm-hmm.
Family. It was family, man. You got guys like Stu, Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, the Greg Olsen, Charles Johnson, the Mike Toberts, guys that are still around here, man. And, you know, at some point, we always tap in with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always. I don't care when is it. You know, Stu might hit me off a random. It might be on IG just to check on me. Hey, look, Cap, throw a little subliminal at me. Hey, look, Cap, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? For real. And it's
good to hear.
yes, it's like the relationship that we built with each other, man, that makes us like man, we can not talk for 3-4 months. We see each other just like we've been talking the whole time.
That's right.
It might be a year. Like we see each other like the whole time.
Just pick up.
It's just pick up, man. And that's what it is with me. It was the family. That's why I came back. I miss those guys, man. I miss them holding me accountable of some of my actions, even when I didn't make the right decisions sometime off the field. They held me accountable. I had guys like Stu, like, yo, Cap, man, like, do this, do that. Like, he helped me. He don't even know. Sometimes, you know, I went through some stuff in my life, but sometimes even just talking to Stu, he helped me through some stuff he don't even know about. With just checking on me and like, yo, man, it's gonna be all right. You know, everything, hey, man, it happens, bro. Even words like that help me get through some stuff. Cause sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't know, man, what to do, man. This is gonna be all right. You know, it happens, bro. Mm-hmm. It's what you gonna do now. What's your reaction gonna be?
That's right.
Yeah. And then, you know, not to toot your own horn, but hey, man, like the stuff that you doing with this Legends things, man, like kudos to you, bro. Like we didn't have that, bro. We didn't have nobody. We had the guys that we knew already, like the Stu. Like that's easy, Stu, me, Tober. You know, we always ran into each other. But the connections that you making with the guys that we haven't seen in a long time, man. We seen Charles Godfrey, bro.
Yeah.
Like for real, bro.
Lift up a couple rocks, find this brother.
Yes, man. But I'm just saying, bro. Like
shout out to Chris.
Yes,
he's awesome. He was
yes.
great to see.
Then you know guys like Sherrod Martin. That used to be. We was the same draft class,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Brown, like same draft class.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just good to be able to connect with guys that you blood, sweat, and tears with.
man.
And that you like grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like this is such a we came here at a very opportunistic time because obviously Carolina's is the market here is growing. Everybody want to be here. We got drafted here. That's a jackpot in itself.
Yes.
And so now, you know, being able to like create this brotherhood, not just through good times, but bad times.
Yes.
Bad times really when we start.
Oh,
Hey, look,
man.
what you doing tonight?
We gotta really, yes. Hey man, you going somewhere tonight? Man,
You
we might as well.
you forge a fracture.
Yes.
That's what it comes down
Yes.
to.
And then I think about stuff like this too, Stu and JK. It's like, bro, I've been in Carolina for 16 years almost.
Yeah.
Think about it, bro.
It's your home now.
It's my home.
Yeah.
I've been in the Carolinas since 2006.
Yeah.
So I spent most of my life in Carolina, really.
Yep. Became an adult. All
Yes.
that.
So this is where I really
Grew up.
grew up.
Yeah.
This is where I really learned how to become a real man. Like, for real. I had my kids. Like for real. Like,
Special.
Yeah.
and just to be here, man. Like, man, listen, I wouldn't trade this for the world, man.
God first, family,
Damn
football.
man.
Love it.
Well,
Damn
appreciate
football.
you, Cap, man.
Way to take us out, Cap.
That was
Great,
awesome.
man.
Thank you guys for listening to Stu and the crew. Captain Munnerlyn was able to come through and share with us his journey, where he's at, inspiring these kids, the youth, which is so important. And make sure you check out No Capping with Cap, his new podcast.
Hey, that was pretty
hopefully,
catchy though, all right?
hopefully he invites me on.
Man, I'm trying to get you on anytime you want to be
All
on.
right, let's go.
Listen, man, Stu, you gonna get Hollywood on me, man. You got to go to Oregon and do all this other stuff.
Nah,
you know,
man, we gonna support you.
Yes,
Everybody tune in, like, subscribe, all the things for Cap. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
All right.
having me, man.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.